Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times they always put this one, I got to their last couple of yeah. I can go and earlier they said to one of these people now. But if you're coming full on the candy, they're good for the legs when you want to take it. I'll pre-pull them up and I'll let you drive.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, no.
That's why I try to hide presentation, getting out of development closed session.
Okay, close it. Okay, all right.
And you'll see it. It's got today's stuff.
Okay, all right. I'll keep this together for now. When y'all go in closed session, I'll help you here and set it up. Huh?
Hey, so how are you? Let me slide over. No, I'll sign. You might be leaving.
Yeah, no, probably.
No, you're fine. You're late.
Okay.
Oh, darn, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
How are you?
Backpacking, you handed out camp evidence, find out the stuff.
That'll bring you.
This man, I'm just doing it.
I've sat in this thing for 4 hours sometimes. You never know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, we appreciate you all being here. Yes.
Panic ceremonies at our panic ceremonies starting tomorrow. That's the graduation on Friday.
All of them take place.
Between the two campuses, some are on the line. Respiratory.
Just want to check.
I'm going to
Test, check 1 2, check 1 2, test.
Day 4.
Sunday. I wonder how it was in the light in the morning. You know, they both find their mom doing it. Did you get one of those?
I blame it on him.
Right, yeah.
First of all, I was gonna make it like, drive around there, come back and kind of leave them. See the Amazon side, the steamroll. So when you're those training programs that, so, yeah. Along with the other stuff, you also have training.
It's nice to meet you. Thank you.
The selling point for us. Sure.
Yeah.
You said I could just
Just texting me. Well, what does it say after?
on that board, you see.
Yeah.
We did that.
Me too.
And look, I was taking this. Oh, that's
But I don't.
Yeah, yeah, terrible. I think it's correct. Hey, how you doing?
And the 25th of May, and that's how what the. Stand back in. This one yours. They have them. There's one have an office. How about my own? Boogaloo already done too. Oh. And Phil Woodard isn't supposed to be there. Oh.
Oh, Lord, it's fine. We thank them all. Oh, no.
Hi there. It's currently 1800 hours.
I did.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting of the Edgecombe County Board of Commissioners to order. Safety instructions, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to call on Ms. Best to read us our safety instructions.
Good evening. To provide for the safety of those attending this meeting, please listen to the following instructions in case of an emergency. First, please take a moment to note where your exits are. If an emergency arises that prompts us to evacuate, please exit this room in a quick and orderly manner through one of the two doors to your right, and then proceed to the nearest stairwell, directions to which are indicated by the exit sign. Once you exit the building, we ask that you safely cross Granville Street, which is the street that runs beside our building, to our parking lot to be safely away from the building. Our staff will provide additional direction and assistance as needed. In the case of a tornado warning, please exit this room into the hallway where we will all remain until it is safe to exit. And in the event of an active shooter in the building, if there is an accessible escape path, please run and try to evacuate the premises. If you can't evacuate, find a place to hide where you're less likely to be found and lock any doors that you can. And as a last resort, and only if your life is in imminent danger, please fight, and our staff will provide additional direction and assistance on what to do. Thank you for your attention.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day of life, health, and strength. Lord, we thank you for those who are gathered, those who like to be here and cannot. Lord, we ask you to keep us on one accord so we might do the business of this county. That makes it a better place for your citizens to live. In the Son Jesus' name we pray.
We have in the agenda package the minutes from the previous week. If there are no additional directions, I have a motion. Motion. Second.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, let me know by the vote sign aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, against all approved. Public hearing number one, public hearing to discuss proposed offense amendments to 2025 annual action plan and for annual action plan for 2019-24 for home funds with downwards home portion. Public hearing is called to order. Mr. Peters, could you please read the public notice?
Yes, sir. The City of Rocky Mount and the Down East Zone Consortium have prepared an annual action plan for fiscal year 2025 for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD, Community Development Block Grant CDBG program, and Home Investment Partnerships program. The annual action plan for fiscal year 2025 outlines how the city intends to expend an estimated $495,263 in CDBG funds and $359,420 in home funds. The city is also proposing substantial amendments to the 2019 through 2024 annual action plans as described below. In order to obtain the views of citizens, public agencies, and other interested parties, the planned and substantial amendments will be on display for 30 days beginning April 12, 2025 through May 12, 2025 at the following locations: Rocky Mount and Down Department of Housing and Community Development, Edgecombe County Edgecombe Administration Building. Notice is also given in two public hearings to discuss the plan. Proposed amendments will be held as follows: Rocky Mount, North Carolina, Monday, April 28, 2025, at 4 o'clock p.m. at the Treasury Returns Municipal Building, 3rd floor, 331 South Raymond Street, Rocky Mount. Edgecombe County, North Carolina, Monday, May 5th, 2025, at 6 o'clock p.m. Commissioners Room, 2nd floor, 202 Angel Street, Harbor, North Carolina. Both public hearing locations are accessible to persons with physical disabilities and even requiring special accommodations or required presentation in language other than English should contact Stephanie Taylor, Community Development Manager, Department of Housing and Community Development. Stephanie.taylor@rockymountainc.gov or by calling 253-972-1267 on this 48 hours in advance of the hearing date and time. City's prepared amendments to the annual action plan for the years 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. These amendments are necessary to transfer funds between planned projects, adjust for actual expenditures for completed projects, and fully fund projects underway and ensure timely expenditures. The draft amendments are available for a 30-day public review and comment period from April 12th, 2025 through May 12th, 2025. Some projects are outlined in the notice. The proposed amendments will reduce the budget of housing and rehabilitation projects by $338,196 and transfer funds to economic development projects and down payment assistance projects. Transfer eligible CHDOs set aside funds in the amount of $420,625 to a project that will develop single-family homes for resale to income-eligible households and reduce the budget of housing rehabilitation projects by $387,194 and transfer funds to the down payment assistance projects and develop homeownership units to facilitate home ownership for low and moderate income households. All interested citizens are encouraged to attend one or both of the public hearings, and they will be given the opportunity to present oral or written testimony concerning the proposed use of CDBG and home funds included in the plan. Written comments may also be addressed to Stephanie Taylor, Community Development Manager, Department of Housing and Community Development, 331 South Franklin Street, Post Office Box 1180, Rocky Mountain, NC 27802. Written comments on the draft 2025 annual action plan and proposed substantial amendments are encouraged and should be received no later than May 12, 2025 should be considered in the plan. It is anticipated that the City Council for the City of Rocky Mount will take up the annual action plan and propose substantial amendments at its regular meeting on May 12, 2025 at 7 o'clock p.m. in the City Council Chambers, 331 South Franklin Street, Rocky Mount. Upon the approval of the City Council, the annual action plan amendments will be submitted to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD on or after May 15, 2025.
Mr. Evans?
Sir, Mr. Chairman, as you will recall that the city of Rocky Mount is an entitlement city, so they receive housing funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development directly. They also serve as the lead entity for the Down East Home Consortium, which the county is a member. So they oversee the home funds, which is similar to the community development block grant funds. And so annually they have to submit a plan for the use of those funds that covers a portion that's expended in the county, as well as any changes to the existing action plan. So tonight we have with us Ms. Stephanie Taylor. She is the Community Development Manager of the City of Rocky Mount, and she's going to review the action plan that's listed.
Good evening, Commissioners and County Manager. So tonight, the agenda is to have an overview of the 2025 annual action plan, review community priorities as identified in the 2024 to 2026 consolidated plan, discuss estimated resources available for FY 2025, summarize proposed projects for CDBG and home, discuss plan amendments to reallocate CDBG and home funds, and also request feedback from the public on plan activities and amendments. What is the annual action plan? An annual action plan is a one-year strategy that outlines how the city of Rocky Mount will utilize the CDBG and home funds and support local priorities. The plan period is from July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2026. The goals and priorities are established in a consolidated plan for 2024 to 2026. CDBG funds will be dispersed to benefit low and moderate income residents. The priorities are to increase access and improve quality of affordable housing, eliminate slum and blight, improve public facilities and infrastructure, expand public services, economic development, planning, and administration. The estimated resources for home and CDBG. For CDBG, estimated allocation $495,363 and home $359,133. Finance will be placed in the early statement. The proposed activities for CDBG for FY 2025, new single-family housing rehab, home assistance, Section 180 loan repayment, public services, planning, and administration. The proposed budget for the 2025 CDBG allocation administration $99,072. Section 108 loan, 87,243. Public services, 74,304. Home buyers assistance, $100,000. Homeowner rehab, 134,744, which is a total of 495,363. The proposed home budget allocation, 10% would be set aside for program admin for 35,941. Rocky Mount Home Scatter Site Housing Rehab, 168,927. Community Housing Development Organization set aside, 53,913. Edgecombe County Scatter Site Housing Rehab, 71,884. Other Down East Home Consortium PJ Scatter Site Housing Rehab, 14,378. Down East Home Consortium PJ Sharpsburg, 14,377, which gives us a total of 359,420. The CDBG proposed amendments is to reallocate CDBG funding from 2022 to 2024 from housing rehab to economic development and to down payment assistance. The proposed home amendments from 2019 to 2024 allocate total set aside dollar amount to develop home ownership units. The additional amount is to reallocate Rocky Mount Reserve and the scatter site rehab amount to down payment assistance and to develop home ownership units. The next steps, right now we have a public display and a 30-day comment period that will end on May 12th. We will do a final presentation May 12th to the Rocky Mount City Council. Submission of the 2025 annual action plan and the amended plans to HUD is due May 15th, and the program year begins January 1, 2025. For more information on provided by the comments, you can submit that to me, Stephanie Taylor, Community Development Manager, 252-972-1267, or email stephanie.taylor@rockymountainSC.gov.
Question for
I know we want people to become homeowners,
Yes,
but the complaint I get are from people who need their home rehabilitated.
okay.
And see, I see here where you're going to reduce the amount of money that you help people rehabilitate what they have, hopes of developing new home ownership. And down payment assistance is good. But it's no good if they can't continue it once they get into the home. But we've got a lot of people, especially a lot of elderly people, need their homes rehab. So I'm wondering, did we help in making this decision that we would reduce the amount of rehab, or that just went out right now?
Well, I don't know if Ms. Taylor has anything she wants to add. So just as a reminder to me as well. So with the home funds, we are a member. You see the towns that were listed are members as well. City of Rocky Mount is the lead entity. So the amount that's available for each of the members is calculated by population and depending on the amount that is allocated. So what is available to us being the county outside of the city limits of Rocky Mount, is a relatively small amount of money. So Mr. Spell is our representative on the Down East Home Consortium Board. They vote our funds that we use out in the county we're using for rehabilitation. Then the city of Rocky Mount gets to choose inside. Now, they also have other funds that come available to them, like the community development block grant funds and others. And so, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the down payment assistance that's how the city plans to use their portion of the fund.
Yes, that's correct. So I'll go back to the amendment portion. So for this funding, this is CDBG, which is just allocated to the city of Rocky Mount. So that's how we're planning to utilize those funds, removing from housing rehab to down payment assistance. So those funds are not available to Edgecombe County. We go to the second amendment. So the second amendment is for the total set aside. Those funding was previously allocated for rental development. We just reallocating for home ownership unit. Those funds was previously allocated to the total set aside. So that's a 15% minimum that HUDs allow us to set aside for development.
But, you know, your concern is certainly valid, and I think that's part of the reason of having these hearings is to get that kind of feedback, so thank you.
And even the amount we're getting in rehab one house.
Yeah, our allocation is 71,000, correct?
And
71,000.
it's probably, you know, it's
Yes, that's correct. For the 2025, and Edgecombe does have a balance of 325,000 for housing rehab.
another question from the board.
The total allocation used to be a lot more years ago.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We need to,
Thank you.
at this time, ladies and gentlemen, call for public comments. If there's anybody here who would like to speak, please come forward and state your name and address for the public record. Anybody would like to speak?
Good evening. Camille Dancy, 127 Midway Lane, Tarboro, North Carolina. Is my physical address, P.O. Box 1391, Pine Top, North Carolina. This is my mailing address. Live 3 miles out of Pine Top and 7 miles out of Tarboro. I love the city. I just want to stand before the board and thank you for reappointing me to the Animal Welfare Advisory Board. I'm glad to see the animal shelter coming up.
Before you come together, which we get public petition.
Oh, I thought you said, okay, I'm sorry, okay.
Oh, you come.
I'm sorry.
Anybody that's like to speak in reference to, the annual action plan? Hearing none, at this time, I'd like to join the public meeting, and there's no action.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Hearing none, we're moving on to the next public hearing. The public hearing is called for the case of naming a street to Barfield Lane. I'd like to call the public hearing to order. Mr. Peters, would you please read the public notice?
Yes, sir. The Edgecombe County Board of Commissioners will hold an evidentiary hearing during the next regular meeting on Monday, May 5th, 2025 at 6:00 p.m. in the Jonathan Duff Commissioner's Room, located on the second floor of the Edgecombe County Administration Building Auditorium located at 201 St. Andrew Street, Tarboro, North Carolina. The purpose of this hearing is to consider an act upon case 25-SAR01, a request for a street renaming. The street is located off the south side of NC 124 East Pine Tops in Township Number 8. The street with parcel numbers 471324323100, 471323086800, 471323907200, and 471312983700. The applicant, Justin Barfield, requests to rename the street from Bearfield Lane to Barfield. Copies of a map showing the location of the street are available for public inspection during business hour day and 5 p.m. in the County Planning Office, Room 205, County Administration Building 201, St. Andrew Street, Tarboro, North Carolina. All interested citizens are encouraged to attend the hearing and share their thoughts and concerns with Mr. Dilfer on this matter. Comments may also be submitted in writing prior to the hearing by emailing them to publiccomments@edgecombco.com or mailing them to Candy Faithful Personal Board, PO Box 10, Tarboro, North Carolina 2786. Public comments received by mail or email before 5:00 p.m. on Friday, May 2nd, 2025 will be read. You may visit the county's website at www.edgecombecountync.gov. For questions related to the street renaming, please contact the Edgecombe County Planning Department at 252-417-02. By order of the Board of Commissioners of Edgecombe County, hearing basis of the board.
Yes, I'd like to call Mr. Durbin Spell forward, our planning director, to add any other details he feels necessary in answering your questions.
Good evening. Justin Barfield requests to rename a private street from Bearfield Lane to Barfield Lane as his first choice, or Barfield Place as the second choice. The private lane has 6 structures addressed off of it. The purpose of the request is to create clarity. The planning board voted unanimously to forward the street renaming request to the Board of County Commissioners with a favorable recommendation. The technical review committee did not have any comments. In regard to the decision, the Board of Commissioners shall review the application and decide one of the following in accordance with section 2.3.2 22.f the criteria. 1, approve abandonment or renaming of all or a portion of the street right of way. 2, denial of street abandonment or renaming. Or 3, remand the application to the planning for the consideration. I present the applicant, Mr. Justin Barfield, to make any additional comments regarding this case.
Okay.
Good evening, Commissioners, County Manager. Essentially, what has sort of precipitated this, it's about a 25-year headache based off of a clerical error in 2000. It was one of those things where my parents, the original applicants, when the E911 process came into play, just kind of accepted it as, hey, it makes for a great story, but no one in our family has had that extra E since 1937. So, with that being said, my wife and I recently acquired in one of the adjoining parcels there on Bearfield Lane, and the decision was made, it's time to get this fixed going forward before any additional addressable structures are constructed on the property. Also, with my parents getting older in age, the concern has kind of been just based on day-to-day transactions. This is a confusion that is experienced day-to-day, whether it be the pharmacy getting medication address wrong or the GPS or UPS for getting a package. Now my concern is, what if there was a medical emergency and we called 911 and my father's last name is Barfield, and again, the common misconception is to put in that extra E or take it out, and there's 2 or 3 minutes that have been lost in terms of trying to find the house in the first place. So with that being said, we've decided to try to get this wrapped up once and for all, and feel like it will offer clarity going forward, just based on, again, day-to-day transactions or even county or experiences. Environmental Health issued a septic permit on the property, and despite the application having Bearfield Lane, the county health department issued a permit in the name of Barfield Lane on the address. And again, that just kind of goes day in and day out. We'd like to get this fixed to go forward.
They spelled your name.
Sure, yeah, essentially.
So my question is, since I see the mailing address is 46 Bearfield Lane, will that change and take the E out of the address?
Correct, and there is a petition included in the packet signed by all the affected property owners, including those that are not of any kinship to our family. And per that petition, our family has agreed to pay for any fees that are incurred as far as enacting the name change, including the USPS or the United States Postal Service's change of address fees. We're going to take care of that for not only our addresses, but the 5 other addressable structures on the lane for those tenants. Do I need to give an address for the public record?
Why don't you put it in the record?
Sure.
Put it in the record as you would like.
Sure thing. Justin Barfield, address 8821 Campfire Trail, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27615.
Request is to Barfield Lane, B-A-R-F-I-E-L-D.
BARFIELD. Correct.
Okay. Any other questions?
We'll get you.
Thank you.
Let's see if we got an officer. Is there anybody that's good? Hearing none? Yes. Is that motion to approve?
Second.
Questions? All in favor, let me know by vote sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Then the record show that it's now B-A-R-F-I-E-L-D Lane. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'd like to have more of that something. At this time, we call for petition.
All right. Now, can I do it again? You know, some aliens like that.
We already got you in the record. Start where you from.
Well, really, I was thinking, I just want to say I appreciate y'all for reappointing me to the Animal Welfare Advisory Board, and to see the creation of the animal shelter and the stages of it. I've been going by taking pictures and got off work early Friday and went over to the little ceremony, and look forward to following it all the way through. Give the Lord grace.
Well, we thank you for your service. Thank you. Very good for that work. Anybody else have public petition? Yes, yeah, no problem. Got any brothers, got pigs? Speed, North Carolina, my mailing address is Post Office Box 264, Speed, North Carolina, 27881. And the telephone is 252-907-8311. About 8 o'clock in the morning, about 8 p.m. at night. You lost up a minute. Okay. Well, I'm here on several things. I'm gonna move. Let me move swiftly. I want to thank you all for y'all supporting the Charles of Freedom coming to Edgecombe County. I have some booklet here. I don't know if y'all have these. Yeah, not manager, but we got 7 of them. No, I got 6, 7 more. But I think it's a very good display, and it's generating some very positive conversation here in Edgecombe County. And I was hoping that the date and everything for the dedication of it could have been done in the fashion where we could have got it publicized. And I have to take it for you. And if we could have gotten it publicized, because I think it should be an opportunity for the community to come together. So that day will be public. Okay. Yeah, I just noticed, this tall book, the mayor edition has gone out, so it's probably too late for that. We missed that one. Yeah. But maybe we can do the Rocky Mountain Telegram, the Tall River Times, and also your radio station. It's a very beautiful display, and I'm proud to be a part of the committee that has worked hard to get here. In fact, the manager and you all for your support. And also on May the 18th at 6 o'clock, they're doing a special salute to Reverend Dr. Thomas L. Walker out of Rocky Mountain for the work that he had done to Edgecombe County and other areas. And I'd like to ask the county commissioner if y'all would generate a resolution honoring his service to Edgecombe County and have presented at that event. It can be on the 18th at 6 o'clock at Showers of Blessing Church there in Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. Objection to the board, I would report that. Yes, sir. No objection to the board. Okay, and also I brought to y'all attention a little while back too about the bridge naming for Mr. Plymouth, and y'all signed off on that resolution. And it seemed like to me this thing going into at least the 2nd year now. And I know that there have been some other bridges and road naming. And I just want y'all, if y'all would just reach out and see what's taking it so long for to get bridge named in honor of Mr. Walter Plymouth Jr. for his time in Princeville. And I also asked y'all one time before, to do a sign that said Edgecombe County, home of the oldest town taught by blacks in America, Princeville, North Carolina. I think would help tourism and just a matter, I think somebody grabbing the blue by the horn trying to make it happen. And thank you for your time. I asked you to ask Princeville to grab that. Okay. Okay. And I thank you for your continued service and what you've done for all of our communities in Princeville. Thank you so much. Okay. And I have another thing to do with that Charter of Freedom, Matthew 7. Yes. And in that book that I just gave y'all earlier, it's going to show how some of those other ceremonies were carried out in other areas, not only in Edgecombe County. Do our work and make sure we have great attendance. Everybody happy to take on the board. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, brother. Appreciate y'all for your service. We continue to pray much for you every night. Thank you, brother. Anybody else to speak? On third. Here none. We move on to schedule conference service.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. As you all know, we partner with the Edgecombe Community College to create the Edgecombe Works Office Academy. This 8-week, 96 credit hour program gave participants industry recognized credentials that will help them grow as team members. We're honored to be able to present to our second round of graduates, our employees, our staff members who participated. And I'm going to invite Dr. Greg McLeod, president of the community college, to come forward, make some remarks and make those presentations.
Good evening, Chairman Wiggins, Vice Chair Harris, Commissioners, Manager Evans, Administrator, staff, visitors, and guests. It is always a pleasure and an honor to be here with you, but in particularly this night as we celebrate and honor the graduates of the second class of the Edgecombe Works Office Skills Academy. So I want to thank you all for your support, your funding, as well as your trust in us as a college to deliver this program for your employees. That is something that we take not lightly. We take seriously, and we want to make sure that we're providing the best education and training that we can, not just for county employees, but for all of our residents and everyone who chooses to be served by the college. Also, just want to congratulate, and we met with them earlier this evening, just want to congratulate again those employees who took advantage of this, not just for this second class, but also the class last year. And we also have a class going on right now with another version of the class that is dealing with hands-on, so a tech skills academy as well. So we want to congratulate and thank them all again for taking advantage of this. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Ms. Paige Ashman. She is the coordinator of this program. She is also our lifelong learning programs administrator. So she is going to share with you all some of the details of the program, and then we're going to give the certificates out.
Oh, no. Yes, sir. Mr. Evans gave us that lunch for the academy meetings. Would you help us there, tell us what the academy, this beginning?
Sure. As I mentioned a couple of years ago, we drafted a new vision statement for the county. We call it a two-sided vision statement. One side faces to our citizens and it talks about all that we know and hope that our county can be. The other side faces inward towards us as an organization. That is who we need to be to help our citizens, our county, to reach that vision. So for the side of the vision statement that faces inward, the first line of it says that Edgecombe County will value its employees so that, and so we really focused on that first sentence. We look for ways to do even more to value our employees. And so part of that is that we want to train our staff as best as we can. And so we've worked hard to create a number of different training opportunities in addition to the things that we're already doing. And part of that was we reached out to Dr. McLeod and his team, and they were able to pull together this program. In our community college system, they're able to stack together credentials, individual certificates that a person can receive, stack those together. If it's at least 96 credit hours, it can be packaged as an academy. So you'll hear as Ms. Worsham comes up, she's going to talk about those individual certificates that our staff are able to get. So we're trying to help our team that are interested in sharpening their skills to accommodate opportunities to do that. So there's a really great opportunity. Thank you all as the board that you've agreed in last year's budget and this current year's budget to fund that. So through that, we're able to cover the cost of tuition, books, and fees. And then there are some funds that go directly to the participant that helps to defray some of their out-of-pocket expenses with it. It's quite a commitment to them. It's several weeks long and lots of classes and lots of tests they have to take. And they've hung in there and they're graduated. They're getting their certificate tonight. So we're super excited about it.
Thank you. Go ahead. Excuse me.
All right. So Ms. Ashman.
Thank you all for having us tonight and for your continued support for the Edgecombe Works program. Our second Office Skills Academy started January the 14th and ended April the 15th. So they spent quite a bit of time in this class. Throughout those months, they met twice a week. Some of it was they met in person. Some of it was online. Like Mr. Evans said, it's 96 hours. But during that 96 hours of instruction, they earned 2 credentials. They learned that they earned Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt, which focuses on process and productivity improvement, and OSHA 10 certification, which health and safety. Both of those courses are beneficial in many aspects of their life, not only at work. But they're also stackable credentials, meaning that they can go back and take just another course and build on their credentials. They also receive training in accounting, software applications such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, soft skills training, customer service, leadership skills, communication skills, time management. Just, I'd like to take a second and just speak on them personally. I worked with them directly. They are a great group of ladies, and I'm really proud of them. They have families, they have other commitments, and they were focused on this class. They were dedicated. They did what they had to do. They, like I said, they came twice a week. Sometimes they came straight from work. They were just a really fun group, and I've enjoyed getting to know each and every one of them. So again, thank you all for this opportunity, and congratulations to you all. So if you can, that's right, there are 7 here tonight. Yes, yes. Okay. So when I call your name. Sharon Clark. Christy Lake. Deja Edwards. Esterine Pitt. Paige Medford. Teresa Mallon. And Crystal Mabry. I'd also like to recognize the 2 that were unable to make it tonight, Gloria Mosley and Marilyn Edmonds. And we'll hold on to this, or we'll get it to them.
And if y'all don't mind, if you'll stand behind the commissioners, and we'd like to take a picture.
You have our county manager up here.
I rescinded that, okay.
All right, let me get one.
Did you see?
All right.
Congratulations. Good job. I'll let you call.
Both. Yes.
I guess while you're moving out of state, you know, if you want to leave, you can.
Yeah.
But, promise I made on, the budget thing. On behalf of the board, we just like to say thank you for your work. I hope that it continue to support you in the workplace, you continue reading with a continuing education. As I stated that the suggestions you have for us, certain things on this statement I said to Mr. Evans in terms of, I've asked Mr. Evans to reach out to community college and to our school system also to listen to this program. I think it's an excellent program. And it's something that I stated to them, this, our budget is never too small to support our work. Thank you so much for your work. Any comments about this?
Thank you. Thank
you. Thank you.
And someone who works in the same kind of capacity as you ladies, I understand, and the older we get, we have to refresh our minds. Because technology is changing, everything is changing, if we want to stay on top of things. Just encourage those that work around you to join the same program. We all will be flying high for the next assignment.
Thank you.
And you know, and we do need certification. You know, I have this story told to me. A young man who does school. He has a certificate. He has a certificate in one of the training programs at high school. He went to service. And he presented that certificate. And they got him promoted real fast. Which, from what I guess I'm really saying, even coming out of high school, some of us didn't understand the need for certification. Okay. And certification now is real important in the workplace. And as we continue, we will continue as those needs come forward. We will continue to help people. Sometimes you might come to us about certification. We've seen that you can't get those certification. Thank you so much for what you do. Okay. We want to keep our,
I got an email.
our taxpayers. Okay. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Donald House, thank you very much.
One more cry, baby.
Now, further comments? Move on. It's a motion to recess the board, the regular board of this meeting, reconvene the board of education. Thank you. All in favor, nobody votes aye. Aye. Opposed, we announce it as the board of equalization and appeal. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. Evans?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to call forward Ms. Teresa Lewis, our tax administrator, who will lead us through this process.
Good evening, board. So you should have a vanilla folder in front of you that contains your agenda for this evening, along with the recommendations for the 3 cases we have before you tonight. So I'll just start out with our first appellant is Mr. Billy Trevathan, and he is here tonight. So I'm going to read our overview and then let him come forward to speak his case. Okay. All right. So appellant's basis for appeal is subject property is appraised at more than its fair market value. Taxpayer felt the subject property was assessed as a residential building site. After review of the property record card and new soil analysis from the GIS department, appraisal staff confirmed that the property is in fact being assessed as an agricultural property. We did a small change in relation to the land segment grade based off of the new soil analysis, and recommended value is in line with our current schedule of values. Unfortunately, the tract is too small to qualify for any PUV program deferments, which reduces the taxable value. And our recommendation on is $36,550. And I'll let Mr. Trevathan come forward.
Chairman of the Commissions, Billy Trevathan, live at 247 South Shallow Farm Road. I probably have about 60 acres of land in Edgecombe County, but I'm here tonight to see what you can do about helping with 4.3 acres portion. It's located, if you go from the 111, like going up City, the first cross after you get past Seventh Terrace is Shallow Farm Road. It's on the corner, on the west corner of Shallow Farm Road at 111. Normally, I wouldn't have no problem with the valuation, but I've had it checked for parking 2 times. I would love for it to put a business out there, but it won't perk. So at the time, I'm just letting the farmer use it free. Keep making having it more. Look at it. So I appreciate if you could drop the value on it some. Unless you want to send me some sewage out there, you can raise it some. But anyway, that's what I want. And I what farm use value is, be satisfied with me.
Now, what's with, Lewis in terms of, you said it's farmland?
That's the only thing it's good for now. If I could, I'd put a business out of it.
Yes, sir. And if you see the aerials on the back, this is the tract of land that he's talking about on the corner of Shallow and 111. And you can see the tenant fields, is currently on your application. You said Mr. Harold is the tenant that, actually farms that acreage. And if Johnny can zoom out just a little bit, you can see, he owns some tracts down beneath her. And when I say he, Mr. Trevathan, that follows through those land. And so he continues to have several acres there that the Harold's farm. The problem, with the valuation not being qualified for present use value is that it's not a large enough tract. You're required to have at least 10 acres of tended land, with $3,000 worth of income to qualify for that program. This tract is only 4, and if Mr. Trevathan had not sold the lot under it and kept that a contiguous lot, he could have put that tract that is actually being tended, could possibly have qualified on its own. But because of that, therefore you don't get the deferment, which allows farmers to pay a reduced rate. But the land is considered excellent to good according to our soil analysis. And we were able to, we had 2 acres in excellent, 2 acres in good, and we put all 4 acres in just good, which brings it to $8,500 an acre. And that is consistent with the tracts of land that is in the same use across the street beside it, across the road. Fortunately, though, those tracts are larger, which makes it a lesser price per acre because the larger tract of land reduces your price per acre. And again, the issue with this is when our schedule values calls for with a small tract of land, the best and highest use at this point is not residential, but it is in fact agricultural, and the program doesn't allow for any further discount for those.
Do you have any further comments, Mr. Frank? Do you have any further?
I'm a little bit hard of hearing, so.
Do you have any further comments, sir?
No, just won't be fair.
You heard the recommendation of staff and you heard the comments of Mr. Trevathan. Is there much on the board?
So
Move second. questions?
And to be clear, motion to.
That was a motion to approve the recommendations of the tax assessors. Okay. If there's a second. Question? Go ahead.
I'd like for us, I think, so we're saying that the value, that we view this as farmland, like the highest and best use for this property is farmland.
That's correct, and that's how it's being assessed
But-
currently.
And he really can't build on it until we give him sewer, which I think we had that discussion with you, Mr. Trevathan, and that was gonna be several hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that.
Yes, sir.
Is there a path for any of us on this board to make an adjustment to act as if it is in present use value? Could we make that decision because we openly said that it's the highest and best uses in farm?
We also are openly saying that the best and highest use is farmland, but we're also assessing it at that best and highest use according to our scheduled values currently. So we're not assessing this as a home site, which is unbuildable. That would be $16,000 to $18,000 an acre. We're currently assessing it at $8,500 an acre for a home site. For agricultural. So.
Which is what we do for all properties.
Yes,
Same.
yes, sir.
Yeah, but farmers get the present use value they get to defer that property tax.
Well, here's the assessor saying that the size is not fit into what.
That's why I'm asking the question. Is there a path for us to make that adjustment for this property on that?
That is for the board's
And to
call.
me, that path would be an exception. And to we make exceptions.
To be a little more clear, that 10-acre requirement is not the county requirement, that's the state statute.
We have discussed with Mr. Trevathan the fact that some of his other wooded land that he has, that he's currently never applied for that program, that he could possibly, meet those qualifications. And so our appraisal staff has discussed those options with him on his woods lands that he owns, across the county. But, that is a different qualification. That is 20 acres, and that's woods land that he does have. It seems to have enough to qualify for that, to help reduce that piece of it. But as far as this one doesn't go inside with the other.
And I think I do recall maybe coming up and maybe actually some Matthews to go out and look at that. But we could help them with sewer, okay. And I wish we could, because I would like to see something on that going on, okay. So I would love to see growth there, okay.
Well, I thought maybe with principal buying the farm right there, that they were going to develop that. But developing what I call the home.
And if that is the case, if we can help, and if we, in a way, based on, I guess, the use, we certainly want to see sewer go down there. And if at any point that we could get this developer and we could get a plan of action from Pressfield, or we could get the funding for that, we certainly would, within the future, look to that. I would love to see it go down there. But at the present time, we don't have a motion for us. All in favor, let it be known by the vote sign aye. All opposed? One opposed. We have confirmed with assessors.
Thank you.
Next.
Appellate 2 in your packet is, located on Aztec Drive over on the Rocky Mount side near Liggett Road. If any of you are familiar, with that area. It is Mr. Dennis Womble. To my knowledge, he is not here tonight. And this is what we call a consent item. We had previously discussed our findings with him, and he agreed with those. So he chose not to come before you, but because it did come in during the setting of your time frame, you have to say yay or nay on this particular property. So I'll read the overview on both properties. The second one is also belong to him. It's very similar to circumstances. And it is located at 2140 Leggett Road. That is appeal number 3. Appellate's basis for appeal is subject property is appraised at more than its fair market value. Taxpayer felt the subject property is unbuildable due to the flooding. Appraisal staff made an on-site visit and was able to determine that the lots had ditches that ran through them, which makes this unbuildable. A topography adjustment was made and the taxpayer accepted the new value. So we were, Besson High Shoes on these two lots is a home site. We were valuing it as a home site, even though it's listed at $14,000 for each lot. And we have now made a topography adjustment. And in my attachments, you can see that in one of them, you have a ditch that runs pretty much through that. And then on the other map, it drops off severely, where I wouldn't call it a ditch, but it's a big drop off. So after speaking to Rocky Mount, they will allow elevation adjustments, so they will have sewer and water. But because of the ditch and the land itself, they're pretty much an unbuildable lot. So we have adjusted that down based off of that and recommended $3,500 each.
For each lot.
For each lot, yes, sir. And that would be two separate motions if you choose that.
Anybody is here for the bill? Hearing none. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion for Aztec Avenue.
Motion to approve that.
Motion to approve Aztec Avenue. Second. Question. All in favor, let me know by vote sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. It's approved. The motion to approve Lake Road. Yes, sir. Motion to approve Lake Road. Question. All in favor, let me know by vote sign aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, it is approved.
Thank you for that. That is, like I said, the last for this evening. We have been very busy in the last few days receiving applications for appeals. They came in at the last minute. So we have about 15 total to be heard. And we are asking to adjourn this meeting until May 21st, when you guys meet again for your budget session, to actually sit in as the Board of Equalization review that day to hear your the rest of the scheduled appeals. And then at our June meeting, we will adopt our final valuation. If that is okay with you guys, I think that's the plan for us.
Objection to recommendation. Is there anything else to come before the board?
No, sir. I just would like to say that at 5 o'clock today, the Board of Equalization Review is no longer accepting any further appeals for the 2025 tax year.
No comments on the camera. Hearing none, is a motion to recess as the Board of Equalization Review until May 23rd, 2025, and reconvene regular Board of Commissioners. Hearing one second. Question. All in favor, let me know by the vote sign aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, we now stand again as the Board of Commissioners. Moving on to 7.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Next, you have budget amendments for your consideration. There are 6 that require your approval. You'll see budget amendment number 1 from the Department of Social Services, moving between lines to address shortages in some lines. Budget amendment number 2 is to make a correction for an amount received from a particular grant source. It was budgeted as 2015, should be 2051, so that will be correcting that. Budget amendment number 3 is to appropriate additional receipts in both the inmate pay-tail deposit line as well as the DSS trust revenue. Budget amendment number 4, you'll see in solid waste moving funds from the temporary salary and part-time line to other lines as needed. Budget amendment number 5 is to appropriate funds. This is part of the unwinding of our financial arrangement through Horizon Health Partners for the biotech center there at the community college to pay for some legal fees related to the closing and unwinding of that whole financing structure. And you'll see noted there that these legal fees will be reimbursed from the Horizon Health Partners account. And then budget amendment number 6, you'll see is 2-page budget amendment, and that is moving among salary and related lines between departments to make sure that we account for any shortages in any of those departments. The rest are for your review. The others are those that I have approved and those reviewed by Ms. Barfield. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Motion.
Second.
Question.
Just a comment. I love budget amendment number 4, moving from temporary and part-time to regular is really good. It's a lot more expensive to have temporary employees than it is to have.
Instead of the other way around, instead of the contract.
I'll fight all the other ones, but I like seeing that amendment, so good job on doing that.
Which one you gonna fight it? Good. All in favor, let me know by those that aye. Aye. All opposed? No fight. No fight, Mr.
All right, good.
Got off.
Let's keep going with that.
Go ahead.
Business item B is to approve the town of Tarbur's fireworks application. You'll see it's been received and reviewed by Mr. Antoine Brown, our emergency service director. This is for their 4th of July fireworks display, and recommendations for your approval.
Motion. Questions? All in favor, let me know by those that aye. All opposed? Hearing none, is approved.
No, not yet, but
Why don't we make sure that we give us a call?
yes, sir. Mr. Brown has already had conversation with them. Yes, sir. And we expect it before you at your June meeting.
Next, please.
Next is consideration of a resolution to recognize May as Older Americans Month, and I'm going to ask Ms. Natalie Best, Deputy County Manager, to come and read that, and she's going to present that to Ms. Deborah Coley, our Director of our Office on Aging, who's going to receive it on behalf of our senior population.
A resolution recognizing May as National Older Americans Month in Edgecombe County, North Carolina. Whereas May is nationally recognized as Older Americans Month, a time to acknowledge the contributions of older adults to our communities and to raise awareness about issues affecting them. And whereas since 1963, Older Americans Month has been a time to celebrate the achievements and vital contributions of older adults across the nation. And whereas the theme for Older Americans Month 2025 is Flip the Script on Aging, with a focus on transforming how society perceives, talks about, and approaches aging. It encourages individuals and communities to challenge stereotypes and dispel misconceptions. And whereas Edgecombe County, North Carolina recognizes the importance of honoring our older residents and appreciates the wealth of knowledge, experience, and wisdom they bring to our community. And whereas, according to the latest census data, Edgecombe County is home to nearly 10,000 older adults aged 65 and older, comprising 21.2% of the total population. This number is expected to grow in the coming years. And whereas Edgecombe County remains committed to promoting the health, safety, and well-being of all its residents, including older adults, by providing access to vital services, fostering a sense of community, and celebrating the diverse contributions of our older citizens. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners for Edgecombe County, North Carolina, do hereby recognize and celebrate National Older Americans Month throughout the month of May 2025, and encourages all residents to honor and support our older adults in their endeavors to connect, create, and contribute to our community. Adopted this the 5th day of May 2025, signed by Leonard Wiggins, Chairman, Board of Commissioners, and Tammy Fagan, Clerk to the Court.
Motion to approve. Questions? All in favor, by vote say aye. Aye. All opposed?
She was only 10 pounds.
Hearing none, it is approved.
Growing every day.
Growing every day.
Is that a copy of the sign there?
Yes, sir.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's all
right. It's reversed. And we just want to present this to our Asian director, Ms. Deborah, who's done so much for older Americans here in Edgecombe County.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carter.
I want to thank the board for this, and we do a lot of things in the county for older Americans. But this month, we're doing something extremely special. We are honoring those among us in our county who are over 90 years old. We have 3 that are over 100. And when I say that, I say they are oriented, they drive. 2 of them still drive. That's scary, but they do.
Talk about this.
I'm out of you in a few years. Don't worry. But and we have several that still drive. Last year we had one that was 103 that we were fortunate enough for Don Davis to come and take her
to meet, President Biden. She has since passed away. I tell you, we gotta honor these people because they died. I mean, every year it seems like we have 2 or 3 of them in our classes, we call them. We also are having a senior awareness at the community college. This month, we talk about senior safety. The sheriff is there. We have our UOK program. We have several things we do in the county, but we especially focus on them in the month of May. So thank you for your support. Can I do it?
Date.
Oh, we have breakfast on, any of you who are interested, we have breakfast on, May 15th. You're more than welcome to come. This is the last one, so if you don't get this one, you won't get another one till September. We have full breakfast. It's catered by the hospital. Real good event. We have speakers there. People come and give our seniors information and other stuff. Senior, super senior is what we call them. That is, May 21st. That will be from 12 to 2. Shelley Willingham is coming to speak to our seniors, and we'll have some other people on board to speak to them. They'll have a catered lunch, and then they will also get a gift bag from Post of what we call Edgecombe County stuff. We ain't gonna say what the stuff is.
Right.
Yeah. And then on May 29th, at the community college, we're going to have what is known as senior awareness. We talk about the community prayer marriage program. Edgewater is a part of that. Sheriff is a part of that. Social services, all the Edgecombe County people. We also have other vendors who come, who bring our seniors some more food. Then we have lunch. And we're going to try to teach them how to do the, but I tell y'all what, boots on the ground thing. Some of y'all know what that is, some of you don't. But they want to learn the boots on the ground. So that's a part of saying, but is it flip the switch?
We'll make sure to answer.
Yeah, I have a truck there.
We can always have an ambulance. Thank you.
We already I can't give you that much. You was a talk. Go.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next.
Next is item D, which is regarding personnel policy change. Under our current policy, eligible employees are provided up to 4 hours of paid leave per year, specifically to be involved in their child's school or daycare. While this policy has been beneficial, I believe we have the opportunity to further strengthen our commitment to civic involvement by broadening the purpose and increasing the leave to 8 hours annually. The proposed policy would expand eligible uses of community service leave to include a wider range of meaningful activities, such as volunteering at local nonprofit organizations, participating in community cleanup or outreach events, serving as a mentor or tutor, supporting voter engagement or public service initiatives, and continued support for the involvement in children's schools and daycare. This change reflects our belief that strong communities are built not just through government services, but also through the direct involvement of our residents, including our own workforce. Encouraging employees to contribute their time and talent to civic and charitable causes supports our values of community investment, partnership, and shared responsibility. The revised policy still includes safeguards such as supervisory approval, advance notice, and documentation of participation to ensure accountability and minimal disruption to county operations. I recommend that you approve the updated community service leave policy as presented. I also want to note, we have a compensation planning team that I formed a couple of years ago when we were first going through the overhaul of our compensation plan. So a number of our team members, we meet almost on a monthly basis to talk about compensation plans specifically and other things related to, and they also come together and group solve on problems or issues that they come across. This recommendation actually came out of that planning committee. And specifically,
employees.
Yes, they are employees. Yes, sir. And specifically, I believe it was Jason Webb, our head of our IT department, who first brought this to the group, and they've discussed it a couple of times and support this. So I'm bringing that with their recommendation through me. I wholeheartedly support it as well and recommend that you approve this change.
wrong with it. I got the question, Mr. Evans, it's really nice, we give it 4 more hours a year, which I thought it should be more, but all in favor, you know, what's that? All opposed, I think we're here with vote, but I'll look for more next year.
Sure, yes, sir. Let's see how this works.
Yeah, that's like an hour a month, but better than 4. But the employees asked for, we give them what they asked for, they didn't ask for that. They're not good beggars. That's real slow. Next.
Item E is regarding some changes to job descriptions in our compensation plan. I'm requesting your approval of several job descriptions related to positions that are necessary for improving internal operations, providing career advancement opportunities, and supporting organizational stability across county departments. These descriptions have been developed or revised based on operational needs and best practices. A summary of each is provided as follows. First, license plate agency clerk or LPA clerk 2 and 3. These are new positions. These 2 positions are proposed as part of a tiered progression plan for our existing license plate agency clerk position. The addition of the LPA clerk 2 and 3 will establish a clear advancement path, support employee retention, and award growing knowledge and responsibility within the license plate agency. Second is Deputy Director for the Department of Social Services. Though we're adding this is actually one we used to have, but when we overhauled the compensation plan, at the time we thought it would be best to do away with that. But since it's come as a recommendation from Ms. Battle and I support it, this position is recommended to enhance the internal leadership structure of our Department of Social Services. As the largest and most complex department and one of the most complex departments, DSS would benefit significantly from the addition of a deputy director to support daily operations, provide strategic leadership, and ensure continuity of leadership in the director's absence. Third is an administrative officer. This is an existing position that's on our compensation plan, but we do not have a job description for it. This is already included, as I mentioned. However, until now, there's not been a formal job description. So we need to make use of that. And so therefore, we need that job description approved by you. I recommend that you approve the attached job descriptions for the LPA Clerk 2 and 3, Deputy DSS Director, and Administrative Officer, as well as the accompanying revision to the county's compensation plan. I will note that we, in error, left that out of your agenda packet, that you have a copy of that. And just those positions, they're being added to your compensation plan. Also, finally, I want to note that this is not requesting additional appropriation to add new staff, new additional FTEs. It's just to add these positions and the opportunity for current staff to be promoted. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Let me ask you a question before your motion.
Yeah, I'd like for us to exclude the deputy director position and let that go through budget committee and then come through a budget meeting, because we're adding a grade that's the 10th highest paid employee in the county, and before we go through a budget session. So I think that if we're hiring someone at that level of pay, it should go through a budget session and a request through that. That would be my recommendation or my request. Whenever we've had it hired or added a deputy director or director, has always come through those requests, I feel like.
I don't think it's necessarily kind of complete request. I think we can add it. It does not necessarily have to be funded to such time as it can through the budget. So my position would be to proceed with adding it and question no harm.
I thought it's in Canada.
We used to, in our old compensation plan, we used to have that. When we redid the compensation plan, the thought was at the time to do away with the deputy director, and we have I think they're called system administrative program. I can't remember the exact name, but after having time to revisit that and think through that, we feel like for the future, just organizational structure and succession planning opportunity to add that back.
First one at a time. These were the positions Go ahead, state the first one.
Yes, sir. So the first recommendation is to add, and these are new positions on the compensation plan. It's not budgeting additional FTEs in this department, but to add the additional positions of a license plate agency clerk 2 and 3. We have currently a 1 or just a license plate clerk, but this request is to add a 2 and 3 of those positions.
Motion.
So move. Second.
Question. All in favor, let me know by vote of aye. Aye. All opposed? So, that is approved. Thank you.
Second is requesting the addition of the Department of Social Services Deputy Director position at a grade 11 on our compensation plan.
Motion. Second.
And I'll second it.
Questions? Well, I think Mr. Barnes already stated his opposition. Any other questions? All in favor, let me know by vote of aye. Aye. All opposed? All opposed. Next.
And then finally is the administrative officer. This position already exists on our compensation plan, asking your approval of the job description as presented.
Motion.
So when you say it already exists, the budget's already there for that.
We have the positions. You don't have a job description for them. That's what you're saying?
Right. We don't
We
have
got
any.
people that are working those positions.
No. We don't have anyone in an administrative officer position. When we overhauled our compensation plan, we tried to modernize our titles. In some cases, these were titles people were already in. This is a position that no one was in at the time. But in order for us to consider using in the future, we will need a job description. We did not do all new job descriptions at the time because there were just so many. But this is one that we feel like we have an opportunity to promote an existing position in an department to this. But before we can do that, we need to have a job description.
Should it be on this sheet?
It's already on there. I didn't highlight it because it's already, but it is administrative officer. It's a grade 4. It'll be on the second page near the top. And you'll see some similarities if you scroll through our compensation plan. We have administrative assistant 1, 2, and 3. We have other similar positions. This is similar to an administrative assistant position. There are differences you'll see in the job description. There's also the opportunity to assign some programmatic and a higher level of task and authority in that position. That's why it is at a grade 4. But again, this was already on the approved compensation plan. We just did not have a job description.
And I don't understand how you create a position if you don't have what you're gonna do with it. It should be together.
It would. It would have been nice to be able to do that, but we had so many positions that we were adding here, we just were not able to do all new job descriptions at a time. So our approach has been, as we've seen the opportunity to use them, that we brought, and we brought a number of them to you before. But we can't assign someone or promote or hire someone to a position unless we have a job description.
I got your motion.
No, sir.
Motion.
So no, now I'm looking outside.
Question. All in favor, let me know by vote of aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes by the one. You take action on everything.
You did, yes, sir.
Moving on.
Next is item F regarding House Bill 765, and there are a number of bills that have been enacted in the General Assembly. Some are in different stages of progression than others, but a number of them that would affect counties in one way or another. This is one, in my opinion, that have a great effect on you all's ability to make local decisions as it relates to zoning, planning, and development. And this is one that seems to be gaining some traction within the General Assembly. And you've had a chance to see the resolution itself, but generally to summarize, House Bill 765 would make amendments to Chapter 160D in the North Carolina General Statutes, 160D encompasses all the rules and regulations and authority that's given to counties and towns for planning and zoning. Sort of a summary or overview of what the changes include. It includes restrictions on local authority. It will prevent counties and cities from enacting development regulations that would be more restrictive than state law unless it's related to floodplain management. Therefore, it reduces local discretion. It expands vested rights. Developers would gain longer vesting periods from 2 to 5 or even 8 years once a site plan has been approved. So that extends the time that once the site plan has been approved for them to actually get the project underway. You all could make zoning changes or development changes or change your opinion about things. And so the idea is not to extend that, but so far so that you have an opportunity to make changes, or future boards to make changes in how you would decide if you want it. It includes some mandated densities. The bill requires minimum residential densities by right, 4 to 6 units per acre, depending on county population, effectively removing the ability of counties to control growth in rural or infrastructure limited areas. That it puts restrictions on design and infrastructure standards. Local governments would be prohibited from requiring specific building design elements, buffer yards, and multifamily housing, sidewalks unless connected. You couldn't require sidewalks unless it's connected to existing ones, parking space sizes, and a number of other things. So overall, this is one that the Association of County Commissioners has watched very closely and sent out an alert that this bill has been moving, and therefore recommended that counties consider contacting our legislators or take whatever other action you would feel necessary. So with that said, my recommendation would be to adopt a resolution that opposes North Carolina House Bill 765 here in session 2025 for those reasons stated. And after doing so, we would share this with our legislative delegates.
Motion. Question. All in favor, let me come out, vote say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved. Next.
Next is a resolution to recognize Clerks to the Board of Commissioners Week, May 4th through the 10th of 2025. And I may, unless one of the commissioners would like to read the resolution. All right. Grab the wrong one. That's not House Bill 765. So before you is a proclamation recognizing the week of May 4th through May 10th, 2025 as clerks to the boards of county commissioners. Whereas the role of the clerk to the Board of County Commissioners, or clerk, is crucial for maintaining an informed community and facilitating effective local governance through communication among citizens, governing bodies, and administrative departments. And whereas the position of clerk, one of the oldest in local government, continues to be essential as the official record keepers of their counties with responsibilities that are deeply rooted in history. And whereas North Carolina General Statute 153A-111 requires every Board of County Commissioners to appoint or designate a clerk to the board to perform any duties that may be required by law or the Board of Commissioners, including, but not limited to, the preparation, filing, and protection of local government records, which are vital for accountability and transparency. And whereas clerks enhance their professional skills through active participation in the North Carolina Association of County Clerks to the Boards of Commissioners, which, in partnership with the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill School of Government and the International Institute of Municipal Clerks, offers nationally recognized certification programs and continuous professional education. And whereas clerks, through their dedication to professional development, not only improve the efficacy of their offices, but also bring positive recognition to their counties by participating in advanced education and obtaining profession-related certifications. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Edgecombe County Board of Commissioners that the week of May 4th through May 10th, 2025 will be recognized as Clerks to the Board of County Commissioners Week in Edgecombe County, and extends It's appreciation to the clerk of our board, Ms. Tammy Faison, and to all county clerks for the vital services that they perform and their exemplary dedication to the county they represent. For your consideration here tonight, May 5th, 2025.
Motion. Second. Question. All in favor, let me know by vote saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none. So I introduce you. We allow her to the board, Ms. Tanner Payson, who's been with us how long, Payson?
A year next Tuesday.
You're on probation. So you've been with us a while. Thank you for your service. Everybody else? Hearing none, moving on.
Item H is regarding fee schedule and health department for environmental health. Attached is a proposed change to the health department's fee schedule for environmental health. Proposed is the addition of a site visit inconvenience fee of $25 for environmental health. At their last meeting, the Human Services Board unanimously approved recommending this fee should say change. Recommend for your approval.
Motion. Second. Questions? All in favor, let me know by vote saying aye. Aye. All opposed? You have your bad debt policy right off as aye. All. Is there a motion? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Questions? All in favor, let me know by vote saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Moving on to J seven.
Item J, you'll see requested changes to our current year's 8 home and community care block grant funding. You'll see the changes are described there in your agenda packet. Happy to review those if you would like. And if you have any questions, Ms. Barfield is here tonight and she works closely with that program.
Questions from the members? Right.
By reading the letter from the Right Center, does that affect our budget or is that just grant funds?
Just grant funds.
It's just changing what, they just didn't have an amendment to offset costs. But there's no county funds mixed in.
That's all ACC.
Yes. 90% fed state, 10% provided.
No questions? In favor, let me know by vote saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? If not, it is approved. Thank you. We have Bill Horton. Recommends for appointment to Human Services, Election Service, and Policy Executive.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Question. All in favor, let me know by vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed? If none, it's approved.
And Mr. Chairman, I was informed earlier today that Mr. Willingham's appointment to the ABC board, a reappointment needs to be considered. No, sir. Happy to answer any questions if you have.
What's to approve? Second. Questions? All in favor, let me know by vote saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. Contract for June approved. Anything we brought to the board?
No, sir. You'll see you have 2 contracts, one for Nutrition Plus for a WIC program, one for our auditing service, and then the third is change order number 8 is correction to a previously approved change order number 8. Recommend your approval.
Questions before we get a motion on that? Answer.
How often do we bid auditing services?
Usually every 3 or 4 years.
So that should be up for bid next year.
We did this year.
Oh, that's we did?
Yes, sir. We did a request.
Are they the only one that did?
I believe so, or we might have had one more.
I think you had one inquiry.
Yeah, we had one inquiry that they backed out.
Yes, questions about that? That's supposed.
They're handsomely compensated for their audit work.
I think one of the thought, just didn't know.
We have seen that higher.
Yeah, it just,
They know that they are.
Yeah.
Short hits.
Yeah. We have some issues.
I think that's the leadership of our CFO here. That's leading that ship.
Did we get a motion? Did we get a motion? All, I didn't get a motion. Okay, there's a motion. Second. Good. Questions? All in favor, let me know by vote saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none is approved. Department enforcement statements.
You see that we have our water and sewer update. I'd like to call Ms. Barfield up to present to you our monthly financial summary.
Good evening, Commissioners. You notice in the board reports, it reflects as of April 30th, 2025. The county is generally on target. We've collected approximately 75% of our revenues budgeted, and we've expended about 68% of the budget. For the general fund, our ad valorem taxes are nearly fully collected at almost 95%, which is in line with the expectation. Sales tax represented in this report are for January sales, and that puts us at about 61% collected. Both January and the expected February sales are lower than for the same time period last year. However, at this point, we are still hopeful and on track to meet budgeted expectations overall. So we'll keep an eye on that as we continue to receive collections. Public safety and education continue to be our largest spending areas, both exceeding 77% of their budget. However, these cost drivers are still tracking as expected. For water and sewer, what we see is that revenues are slightly behind from where we'd hoped they would be. However, the spending remains low, so the fund is stable overall with no concerns at this time. For solid waste, the fees seem to be performing pretty well as expected. They're nearly covering the portion they were intended to cover, designed by the budget. The general fund transfer, which has not yet occurred, will likely be needed for the remainder of the operation, so we'll keep an eye on how much general fund they'll actually wind up needing as we begin to go toward the end of this year. And then take any questions.
Any questions?
And just curiosity, what makes water and sewer revenue behind versus everything else?
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily behind. I think that it's just more that when we're just looking at collections spread over 12 months, we just look to or hope to be at a certain percentage by a certain time, each month. And I'm just noting that it's just a little bit of it. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about at this time.
What is considered cultural and recreation?
Like, for example, our Parks and Recreation mini grant falls under that. I'm not sure.
The Arts Council and those type things fall into that.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'd like to call up Mr. Durbin Spell, our planning director, to review the planning board report, and we do have an action item that needs your attention.
Thank you. The planning board voted unanimously to forward the following conditional rezoning request to the Board of County Commissioners with an unfavorable recommendation. Case 25-CRZ02, applicant C.T. Williams. The applicant has requested to rezone properties located on NC Highway 111 South Macclesfield. The applicant proposes to rezone parcel identification number 3783-67-3068, which consists of approximately 179.27 acres, and parcel number 3783-86-4263, also known as 5046 NC 111 South, which consists of approximately 114.81 acres, from AR 30 Rural Residential District to R-20-C Mixed Residential Conditional District, with the intended purpose of creating a subdivision with the condition that only single-family site-built detached homes are allowed. The requested action is to call for a public hearing for the June meeting.
What was their main reason for unfavorable?
Yeah, there's a number of reasons, but mainly that the development being proposed did not meet our one of our policy recommendations in our comprehensive plan, which basically focus on maintaining the rural characteristics of the area. And you have the statement that be towards the end of your packet, signed by our planning board chair. It was inconsistent with growth management policy number 5 rural.
Any questions, Mr. Phillips? And what was your motion? You asked for a motion for
To set the public hearing for the June meeting.
Yeah, motion.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Before we
Go ahead.
Mr. Spell, help educate me just a little bit here, and I don't think I'm the only one that could get a little bit of education here. Could be. It is zoned currently at AR 30, correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Williams and his group, whatever's applied to rezone it at R 20.
That's
correct.
That's correct.
Is there, maybe this is, I'll go ahead and say it like I think it needs to be seen. Is there a happy medium in between a AR 30 and R 20? And I know that's a loaded question, so I'll back up, just say, it help me here in thinking if I'm, okay, I think I can see the difference here is as it is zoned currently. Mr. Williams can go in there tomorrow and start building houses, correct?
Yes, sir.
But he would, if he did so, those family dwellings and lot sizes would have to be 30,000 square feet, right?
Yeah, well, so he would be able to develop it as a conservation subdivision, in which in the AR 30 district, lot sizes is 30,000 square feet, but he would have to set aside a minimum open space requirement of 40 acres. Now, with the conservation subdivision, there's provision that lot sizes could be reduced. It will allow for density up to twice that would be allowed in the normal AR 30 district. So theoretically, you could have like 2 homes on a 30,000 acre site for a conservation subdivision. Now, being that said, being that that area is going to be on septic, you're going to get lots that small.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
yes.
So, excuse me, Farrell, you did great. Thank you for helping there. Okay, so R 20 decreases that lot size to 20,000 square feet, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then when it in regards to R 20 mixed residential, can you help us with some other things that it changes other than just the lot size? I mean, is that mainly it? That it mainly changes the lot size?
Yeah, and this proposal, that's what we'll do. It will allow for the minimum lot size to be reduced to 20,000 square feet. Because the condition he is offering is to limit the housing type to just site-built homes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I guess just to go ahead and just say it like I think it needs to be said. Since it seems like we've either got this group that is for it and this group that is totally, I mean, it's like, it ain't like the north and south, it's like the east and the west, okay?
Yes.
Let's say it like it is. Is there a happy medium? I mean, has anyone from the opposing group and anyone from the Mr. Williams group, again, And I know it's a loaded question in regards, to, is it a happy medium somewhere there? But is there? Can you throw another zoning ordinance out there for us? I'm just trying to be a peacemaker, if you know what I'm saying here. I'm trying to see if there's some happy grant, because a lot of people out my way, and you know, it's my district.
Yeah.
I mean, we all represent each other's district, don't get me wrong. And I thank you for all that you do for people in my district. But I'm the one that's getting all these calls, okay? Okay? And here's the truth of the matter. It's probably 50 calls opposing it, and I've only got one call. Probably, Mr. Nancy, I'm probably asking for this answer. So 50 opposing and one for. And again, I'm just kind of wondering there is, because I hear from my constituents in that area, if that housing development would be more like what is called the back nine subdivision, which, you know, is right down the road from that. I mean, you got a berm here, you got pretty much, I just think a lot of people have trouble with that many homes going on a small acreage lot. You know, so I've spit everything out I know to spit out here tonight, and I'm just saying, is there some happy medium that could get everybody on the same page? And I know that ain't gonna be done. Okay, you can't get nobody on the same page now for anything, but to get more on the same page, to be a collective as much of a collective agreement in a community as you could have. Rather, you know, we're gonna be voting on this thing, and either I know we have all power vested in us to say yes or no. That's all fine and good to say yes or no. But if there's some way I can get my people in my area to be great neighbors, if it passes, to be great neighbors to come in, that's what it's all about. Being brothers and sisters to each other. And I'm about to preach that, so I help me if you can.
Well, with this being conditional rezoning, the Board of Commissioners do have the option of proposing additional conditions to the applicant. It would be up to the applicant to agree to those conditions. I know you mentioned berm, or maybe limit the size of the development. You know, there's a number of conditions that could be that you know, you could propose to the applicant.
You know, I'm understanding that I guess my understanding that we can't negotiate, maybe you can, but this board cannot negotiate. Am I correct?
Mr. Spill's right, the board can set conditions on the applicant if the applicant agrees.
You can request conditions.
Yes, if he agrees, then that could be conditions for the.
But then we not.
Yeah.
New experience in terms.
Well, this law has evolved.
It's new experience in terms of how the position that board is that the applicant could request that we could not necessarily close. I guess you're saying that we can.
But it's not so much, not so much in position that.
If we give them something that won't be opposed.
Well, that can't happen. They have to agree. You can make proposals, and if the applicant agrees to it, then that can be.
Okay, that's a new thought. That's a new thought.
But, and I apologize for muddying the
I think
water.
a good place.
Well,
you're not necessarily muddying the water in relation speaking to what you feel that your constituent community wants. And I guess it's the board has a decision to make in terms of local council. And when it comes to us, we're not making a decision then. It's not a decision that you can move until it gets before us. When it gets before us, we can raise those questions. Or if the board's decide based on we have to understand. But what I can do, okay, in terms of what we would like to do, yes, it has been you know, there's a lot of years, but we and a leader, that's a good thing. I guess the thing I've said, I've been here for over 20 years and been very few rezoning requests in the 20 years. So it's a sign, it's a good sign for this county that we are getting requests regardless of what we do. Okay? So it's good to see. It's good to see that we're put in a position that we can make these decisions. And I think this board is not in a position to make a decision until it gets before us. Did I get a motion? Did I get a motion?
Can I?
Go right ahead, please, sir. Please, sir.
He's already made a condition on here that is kind of a compromise between the 20 and the 30, correct? By saying that he's gonna limit to single family homes. Because he could have built duplexes in an R, if it went to an R20, correct?
Yes, and that was one of the arguments that was posed, so that.
So there's a condition there. So my recommendation would be, we're meeting again, correct?
Well, I don't think this is the meeting that we need to do it in.
Yeah, the discussion here is to consider to call a public hearing.
I think we need to call.
The point I was getting to was, is there a way that we could have a discussion with Mr. Williams about what he would accept as conditions if we wanted to add more conditions onto this before we went into that meeting?
I think staff could, I know.
I am personally not comfortable. Anything that we need to do is to be done here in this public forum. If we want to raise those questions with him or the public, and that's the opportunity to do it. That's always been my position as it relates to me dealing with anybody as it relates to the zoning issue. It can't raise a whole lot of other issues.
Motion to open public hearing.
The second. Questions? All in favor, let me know by the vote side aye. Aye. All opposed, I think based on what we've said here, public understands that what we can do based on the question that you raised, and so should the petition in terms of they can come prepared also if this board has any questions to raise with them. Any other questions as related to the decision? Hearing none, we'll have our case. Moving on.
I want to note that you also have in your agenda packet a community paramedic program monthly impact report, and also a letter from the North Carolina Office of Emergency Medical Services. They did a review of our EMS system with Mr. Brown and his staff, and overall got some very positive feedback. So, again, Mr. Brown and his staff for the good work that they're doing there. Under manager's report, you have my monthly major events updates, workforce development indicators, and our TDA monthly financial report. You'll see also that there is an award announcement for the CAB program 2.0, as they call it. Brightspeed has been selected for that award. You also have a copy of the NC Rural Center's listening tour report. You'll notice that they include in that a feature of our Getting Off the List initiative. I will note that I did attend one of those meetings, but they actually picked up on it from the meeting they had in Sampson County. Somebody had heard about it and brought it up, and it was discussed some, so they reached out to me and asked me a few questions about it. Along with that, we provided a copy of our recent update to our Getting Off the List initiative that we shared with our group. You have in there a summary of possible reforms to Medicaid, as I'm sure you all have been hearing as much as any of us have, of conversations going on as the president as well as both chambers are considering their budget proposals for upcoming fiscal year. They are targeting some major cuts, including Medicaid, and in there is just a brief summary of what the impacts could be, but we certainly won't know until any final decisions are made. But it'll be things that we'll need to prepare for, more importantly, to prepare our citizens for if those changes take place. As a reminder, for those who need to do it, the required ethics training for elected officials, we have that scheduled for you on May 22nd, 10 a.m. And also, as was mentioned earlier, our Charters of Freedom unveiling event is. The Charters of Freedom unveiling event, May 22nd at 2 p.m. right down here in front of our courthouse. Very excited about that. We've been working with the representatives from the organization to plan for that, and very excited. So hope that you can join us. So don't have it here, but just a reminder, on the 21st, it'll be a busy month for all of us. On the 21st at 10 a.m., as you was indicated earlier, we'll bring back, ask you to reconvene as the Board of Equalization and Review, but also on that same day, we'll be presenting our budget.
Budget is on the 21st.
Yes, sir. So we'll do that all in one setting. It will be one special meeting. We'll let you go into your Board of E&R. Once you're done with that, then we'll do the budget presentation on May 21st. That's all that I have.
Any questions on that? Not Commissioner, so thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To everybody's favorite place in Bay Road up the other day. And they tell me, if you have a problem that you pass or call the tax office. Tell me if anybody from the tax office ever calls them. Okay. Said this before and I'll say it again. If you call the county, it's we think that the pay taxes, there'll be somebody you can find to call.
Yes, sir. So that.
Whatever it's on, whatever person, whatever.
Another Commissioner. Hearing none. Stevens? At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the schedule is going to close session, stuff economic development. I'll wrap it up now. Yeah, what you going to close session? Thank you. Thank you. Just let me know about those aye. All opposed. Also recognize our past. Yeah, any comments? Our past extension of it.
Yes, sir. I'm a county employee now, so I appreciate the opportunity.
He works in the tax office.
You what?
I work with real property appraisal.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, see, I didn't talk.
Most recent new employee there.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Appreciate it.
We're pleased to have you back,
I'll
okay?
be looking forward to this probably show, ice.
Okay. We can do that.
He missed us and we missed him.
Oh, you retired?
I do, zero peppermint.
Well, congratulations. Is there anybody else out here that came that didn't get an opportunity to say something that you need?
I got a question. On the ethics meeting, the special meeting, is that open to the public?
All of our meetings, all of these meetings are open.
I just want to clarify.
All these meetings.
Right.
The training, that will be noticed because that would be, we expect to have more than a quorum. Anything that's more than a quorum.
Right.
Okay? Expect to get public.
I knew that, but I want it so people can. Thank you.
I've been not asking nobody else.
Mm.
Just we going to. Motion for executive. So move. Did we get a vote? Sorry, this. Okay, we go to executive session. Okay.